Hey guys, Justin Rivas here, wanting to talk to you about the first thing you need to do after you buy your digital SLR. If you're like me, I shot for a long time in auto no flash, because I hated the flash, but when I look back on my photos, I feel like they're really not that great. And it was because I didn't know anything about my digital SLR. There's so many buttons, so many dials, it can be overwhelming. I'm gonna tell you about just one thing you need to do to get yourself started, and that is to put your camera into Aperture Priority mode. If you don't know what Aperture is, I have a video on that. You wanna go watch that. But Aperture Priority mode lets you control the aperture of your camera. On a Nikon, that's a little A on the top of the dial. On a Canon, it's AV. It's probably something similar on Sony, Olympus, Panasonic, another camera like that. Go look up Aperture Priority. But what Aperture Priority allows you to do is when you put it in that mode, you can use your thumb here to turn this dial to control how big or how small the opening is in your lens. Now again, I talked about this in the other video, but that allows you to control how much it blurs out or blows out the background or gives you that depth of field to separate the subject that you're focused on from everything around it. It's going to give you control, help you have some fun with your camera. Let's take a look at a couple examples here on the computer of what I mean by that. So, if we put our camera into Aperture Priority, we now have the ability to turn that way down as far as our lens will allow us to go. And again, what that's going to allow us to do is to blur out the background. This is maybe an extreme example, but here's a shot of my brother, Ben. And you can see that his face is clearly in focus, but this is actually trees and a number of things behind here that are way out of focus. This would be from turning it down as far as it could go on my camera, that aperture, and allows me to blow out the background. In another example here, let's take a look at this one. This is my parents. And you can see here, this isn't a great photo, I'm not showing it off for that, but this is an example of where if you put it in Aperture Priority mode and you turn it up, again, here's a number here, F9, you have the ability to keep the mountains and these buildings here and them all in focus together. If it was like the other image, where we're at a really low number, in this case 2.8, if these were the mountains or the building behind there, you wouldn't see any of that. But in the case of this image, because we've gone with a really high number, we've kept that all in focus. All that's really allowing you to do is take control of your photos. In the case of these two examples, I knew that I wanted some things to be in focus and some things to be out of focus. In the case of taking a picture of a person, I didn't care about the background, so I turned that all the way down to blur out that background. In the case of the other ones where I wanted the mountains to be in focus, honestly, I probably didn't do it intentionally. My camera may have figured that out accidentally, because that was before I knew what I was doing, but in that case, you would turn that up and you would choose to keep those things in focus. You can begin to unlock your creativity when you choose what you want to be in focus and out of focus. And that's what Aperture Priority does. So that should be the first thing that you do when you get your camera, put it in Aperture Priority, get out there, start shooting, even if it's of plants on your table, a coffee mug, people, start dialing that down or dialing that up. See what happens. I think you'll have a lot more fun shooting. I'm Justin Rivas. Thanks for watching. If that was helpful, like the video, subscribe to my channel. Lots more good stuff coming your way. Thanks.